Making it in the rap game means you'll have thousands of fans going wild at your shows. But fame doesn't always mean people actually like you. Sometimes they're tuning in just to hate. And today, we're breaking down the biggest and most hated rappers in the industry. 6ix9ine got a lot of new haters after he flipped on his gang and worked with the cops. But he's always been one of the most hated rappers in the game. He came up in the industry by beefing with other rappers and is known for doing whatever it takes to go viral. Besides all the social media beef, people also hate him because of his legal issues. Back in 2015, 6ix9ine pled guilty to a felony charge of using a child in sexual performance. It's a really disturbing case that he's managed to keep out of the spotlight, but almost everyone who knows about it hates him. Then in 2018, 6ix9ine allegedly choked a 16-year-old fan at a mall in Texas. He was arrested in New York for the assault, but he got it dropped after the teenager decided not to press charges. The same year, hip-hop fans started hating 6ix9ine even more after he tried to have Chief Keef taken out. Keef and him had been sending shots back and forth on social media. Then 6ix9ine went too far and paid his homie Kuda $20K to take Sosa out. Kuda caught Chief outside his hotel in New York and started letting off shots, but luckily, no one was hit. Then, 6ix9ine flipped and sent his homie to prison, which made even more people hate him. And on top of all that, 6ix9ine got caught up in domestic abuse after he admitted to attacking his ex-girlfriend. At this point, it's not clear how many real fans 6ix9ine has, because it seems like everybody who's paying attention to him is just hate watching. But when you build your whole career off of getting under people's skin, that's the best outcome you could have. Eminem is one of the biggest rappers of all time, but he's also one of the most hated. Ever since he took over the game back in the early 2000s, M has gotten hate from all sides of the industry. M put a target on his back from the jump when he came out rapping about violence, abuse, and addiction. The opening verse for his first hit, My Name Is, starts with, "Hi kids, do you like violence? Want to see me stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids?" And from there, it only gets crazier. Parents didn't want their kids listening, and they started getting petitions to get M's music pulled out of stores and off the radio. Eminem has dealt with backlash from his lyrics over his entire career. But it's not just parents who hate him. He's rapped about how tough it was to be a white dude coming up in the rap game. And according to 50 Cent, M's skin color gets him tons of hate from other artists. He told Music Choice, "Hip-hop is black music, without question. And unfortunately, for some people, it's tough to accept that you got a white artist that does it better than black artists." If M was just another rapper in the game who happened to be white, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But since he's one of the highest selling rappers of all time, other dudes in the game get a little pressed about it. But even though he's one of the most hated rappers in the world, it doesn't seem like it bothers M. And like he said on My Name Is, I don't give a f***. God sent me to piss the world off. DJ Khaled has been involved with some of the biggest hits in the game. He got started as a radio DJ back in the 90s and used that to meet tons of rappers. So when he decided to get into the rap game, he called in favors to get some of the hottest artists on his records. Khaled has done a little bit of production, but most people just know him as a dude who yells on tracks and gets a bunch of big artists to work with him. Back when he was just putting out hits and saying his name a lot, it wasn't an issue. But Khaled started getting a lot more hate when he wanted people to treat him like he was as skilled as the people on his tracks. Besides getting a lot of famous people to hop on his projects, Khaled doesn't do much. And when he tried to rock a solo set at EDC in 2017, it was clear that everyone in the crowd hated him. Khaled was scheduled for an hour-long set, but he got booed off the stage in less than 20 minutes. Khaled tried to get the crowd going, but nobody was rocking with him. After it went down, he tried to blame the venue and technical difficulties, but videos of the situation showed that the crowd straight up didn't want him to be there. As long as Khaled can get his famous homies to work with him, he'll probably always have hits. But just because people like the artist you work with doesn't mean they don't hate you. Soulja Boy blew up out of nowhere and went super viral with his song Crank That. It sold millions of copies, but part of that was because people were buying it as a ringtone. Soulja was one of the first artists to blow up as a ringtone rapper, and he had a lot of haters from the jump. Ice-T called the track garbage and said Soulja Boy was killing hip-hop, and every new project he dropped was picking up more hate than the last. He didn't stay in the spotlight for long. Every few years, Soulja Boy pops back up in the headlines, but never for anything good. He's beefed with everyone from Chief Keef to Jake Paul, but nobody is ever on Soulja's side. In 2017, he was beefing with Chris Brown and wanted to prove that the streets still loved him. But when he pulled up to the hood on IG Live, the situation almost went left. Soulja was chilling in the street when he saw a dude walking up. Soulja tried to put his arm around the dude and say what's up, but it turns out he doesn't have love in the streets like that. The dude pushed him off and Soulja squared up to fight, but somebody ended the live before anything happened. He got clowned like crazy on social media for getting checked like that. It's obvious that Soulja wants attention, and apparently, beefing with bigger artists is the only way he can get it. He hasn't charted since 2010, so getting people to hate him is just how he stays relevant. 50 Cent was one of the biggest artists in the world back in the early 2000s, but after beefing with everyone who didn't show him complete loyalty, 50 burned a lot of bridges, and now even his own son hates him. But even before he blew up, 50 was already making enemies in the industry. He dropped the track How to Rob in 1999, where he talks about jacking some of the biggest artists in the game. 50 went after Mace, Jay-Z, Will Smith, DMX, R. Kelly, and way more. He said the track was a joke, but a lot of the rappers he name-dropped didn't take it lightly. Jay responded on the track It's Hot and said, "Go against Jigga, your ass is dense. I'm about $1, what the f is 50 cents? And Big Pun clapped back on the track My Turn with, "And to the 50 Cent rapper, very funny, get your nut off. Cause in real life, we all know I'll blow your motherfucking head off." But How to Rob was just the beginning. After he blew up, it seemed like 50 was beefing with someone new every day. And in 2016, he took it a step further when he went after a special needs teenager working at an airport. He later posted an apology, but that didn't stop a ton of people from hating him over it. 50's also beefing with his own son, Marquise. According to Marquise, their relationship started going downhill when he was around 10. Now that he's an adult, the beef is way more serious. In 2018, Marquise posted a photo with the son of Kenneth McGriff, who allegedly put a hit on 50 back in the day. When Marquise put the photo up, 50 commented, "If both these little got hit by a bus, I wouldn't have a bad day." 50's music career fell completely off in the 2010s, and part of that is because there's almost nobody left who he hasn't made an enemy out of. Suge Knight was one of the most influential OGs in the game. At one point, his Death Row record label was straight up running the industry and had Dr. Dre, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg all in the same crew. But people only work with Suge because they had to, and in reality, he's one of the most hated dudes in rap history. Suge had a lot of power in the game, and if anyone crossed him, it never ended well. Grubb told The Breakfast Club that one time, a Death Row employee got on Suge's bad side, so Suge roughed him up and sat on him in the bathroom. Then Suge made everyone in the building piss in a bucket, and he told the dude, "You gonna drink this, or I'm gonna whoop your ass, for real." Everyone in the industry hated him, especially after rumors started flying that he got pot killed. But now, nobody has to deal with him. In 2018, Suge was sentenced to 28 years in prison for a manslaughter charge after he ran over 2 dudes with his truck and killed one of them. He's not eligible for parole until 2034, and by that time, he'll be way too old to hurt anyone else. Ja Rule started popping off in the 90s and was on his way to becoming one of the hottest rappers in the early 2000s. But after he started beefing with the biggest names in the industry, Ja's name became a punchline and his career never recovered. Ja had 2 #1 albums in 2000 and 2001, but in 2003, it all went downhill. He had ties to Kenneth McGriff and was beefing with 50 Cent. 50 was at the top of the game, so Ja was already fighting a losing battle. But he dug his own grave and he sent shots at Eminem, Dr. Dre, and everyone else who was rocking with 50. The backlash was crazy. Almost overnight, Ja went from a best-selling artist to getting clowned by everyone. After his 6th album drop in 2004, Ja took a break from music and didn't release another record until 2012. Ja was already hated and laughed at by a lot of people. Then it got even worse after he was involved with the infamous Fyre Festival. He was originally facing a $100 million lawsuit over the situation, but in 2019, he was cleared of any wrongdoing. But even though he's not going to lose 9 figures over it, the Fyre Festival disaster made even more people hate him. Ja's still working on projects and trying to stay relevant, but all the L's he's taken over the years will probably follow him forever.